Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, Sour has turned on the subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please stow your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Also, make sure that you've hit that notification bell. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are not prohibited on this flight. However, pretending like PlayStation's price hikes on services are good for consumers is strictly prohibited. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you. Now back to you.
To be like, I already subbed to Game Pass Ultimate, and this dollar deal doesn't make a difference to me. I actually think it's kind of going to sound horrible, smart leading into Starfield, because they want that engagement and they want people to at least do 14 days on the service. And after that 14 days, you're going to be hooked into it. I think it's been there long enough for those who have been, or not just casuals, but like those who are hardcore gamers and seen it and had the opportunity to buy into the dollar deal for it. And if you really want to play Starfield next week on the 6th, what is the harm in spending a little bit more than $1 on that title for that service to get to play it for a month, for example? I think the whole sky is falling crap. And sorry, it is crap. Sorry.
It is.
That
It is.
fan base who is calling it out, and we all know what the news is out today. Like, they can't really throw shade at all over at Xbox, because all they seem to do is talk about Xbox more than they talk about their own games and promoting a positive community or positive gaming environment for PlayStation. They're so focused on their hate of Xbox, and Xbox actually pulling up their socks and getting on with what they're needing to do as a business. That they're completely just focused on anything that's negative, and they're going to call it out. Well, it looks stupid when you're calling it out and price increases is happening on your side. I think there's no issue. Microsoft can choose whenever they want to load out that $1 deal. That's the whole point of it. It is a subscription service, and if they want to push it at any given time, they can roll out the dollar deal. And it was only ever, I guess, a temporary measure to bring people into the service and give people an opportunity to try it at a really, really low cost price. It doesn't matter now that that dollar deal is gone, because it's still a low cost price to try it for a month, to see if your friend has a 14-day trial, and then make the decision on whether or not you're going to purchase it for a month after that fact. We're seeing that fan base trade in their Microsoft points to get to either buy Starfield, so they can play early access, or get a subscription to Game Pass. So they're not as, I guess, as hardline as they say they are, because they know that that IP is not worth missing. Yeah, I think the whole thing is blown out of proportion. If you were going to sub to Game Pass when it was $1, you would have done it already. And for those complaining about it, go look in your own square, your own space, and see what's happening on PlayStation side with their increase to their subscription service, because Microsoft's increase to their subscription service in comparison is not the same. Theirs is substantially worse.
Ooh, she had to go there. Ooh.
Panda, I gotta say, props to you, because you completely nailed that one right off the bat.
Yep.
Without, like, you hit pretty much every point that I was interested in covering, honestly, because the thing is like you said, yes, this was a dollar deal to get people into the ecosystem in the first place, right? And as time went on, they have the right, and it was literally a promotion to get people in. This is the type of stuff you see in business and marketing all the time. People drop a price to get that foot in the door. They get you attached. They get you interested. It's just like why we always see all these free trials as well, is they want to get you involved, because they know that once you experience the ecosystem, you get to play around with it, you're going to be invested, because now you have something that you didn't have previously. You have access to things that you're now not going to have if you cancel your service. And it comes at a very interesting time because, like you said, we found out about the pricing increase on Sony's side today. And oof, like that's a really bad time for that to land. Like Starfield was already eating the attention as far as things went anyways, right? But
Mhm.
then you have this land on the eve of Starfield early access. It's been a rough time for Sony fans, and we see it on those Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X streets. I find it very ironic that people there pony fanboying and fighting have to be on a service called X. Makes me happy. Um,
These
sorry,
are
that's
our
a little
streets
petty.
now.
It's a little petty, but I do find it pretty funny.
It's gonna give it to you.
The irony is too sweet. But it comes at a very interesting time, and you nailed it dead on. Is like, you know, yes, they had this deal, they got people in, you get invested in it, you see what's there. It's hard not to want to stay in that ecosystem later on. And yeah, I mean, compared to what the competitor is offering right now, it is the best deal in gaming. It was the best deal in gaming previously, but especially now that they finally have games starting to roll out, that's going to back itself. Like this is the first big AAA game realistically that's releasing on the service that is going to set a ripple and a wave kind of throughout the market, and this is going to make a big deal. Now, a lot of people online, I'm sure you've seen it as well, a lot of people say that Game Pass is going to affect the actual sales numbers, of which we also know that's not true because, as it turns out, it was one of the highest rated selling items on Amazon over the last week or two, uh,
Yes.
cranking insane numbers. So yeah, I think like you said, this is literally just crap. Is what it is. But if you were to go online,
We lost you.
You lost your content?
Yeah.
oh, can you hear
Oh,
me?
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry, a little bit of turbulence up in these up in these airs, up in the air. It's a little cold through here. We have a cold front, and I think the plane dropped a little bit. But yeah, if you were to go off of just what you saw online right now, you'd be convinced between Starfield having only however many minutes worth of traveling in a straight direction on a planet, um, all these different things that Microsoft is doomed. God
Oh
forbid
yeah.
that they get rid of
Really
their Game Pass
disappointing.
dollar deal after all this time.